Welcome to The Explainer. We're jumping straight into a high-stakes cybersecurity reality today, and honestly, it sounds like something right out of a sci-fi thriller. Right now, as we speak, hackers, rogue actors, and entire nation-states are vacuuming up absolute mountains of encrypted data from across the web. We're talking about your passwords, your bank details, social security numbers, and highly sensitive government intelligence. But here is the massive twist to all of this. They can't actually read a single word of it. It's completely locked up. Okay, let's dive into this. Why on earth would anyone spend massive amounts of time, money, and server space hoarding data files that they literally cannot open? Well, the answer lies in an incredibly patient, frankly terrifying strategy known as Store Now, Decrypt Later, or SNDL. These actors are sweeping up this data because they firmly believe that within the next 10 to 20 years, they're going to finally have access to a revolutionary new type of computer, a machine that can break our current encryption in a matter of minutes. So the encrypted data being hoarded in server farms around the world right now is essentially a ticking time bomb, waiting patiently for a weapon that doesn't quite exist yet. You see, there is plenty of information circling the globe today that will still be incredibly valuable a decade from now. Think about long-term industrial designs, cutting-edge pharmaceutical research, or undercover intelligence networks. Everyone in the cybersecurity world is highly aware of this threat. It's just sitting there, locked, waiting for the ultimate key to be forged. Section 1. The ticking encryption time bomb. Store now, decrypt later. To really understand this threat, we have to look at how our current digital locks actually work and why they've successfully protected us for over 40 years. And this brilliantly illustrates the shift we had to make. Up until the 1970s, if you wanted to keep a message secret, you used symmetric keys. That basically meant you had to meet up in person to share a single secret key used to both lock and unlock the data. But, on the modern internet, you can't exactly meet every single website administrator in person at a coffee shop. So we developed asymmetric keys, specifically a breakthrough known as the RSA encryption system. This gives everyone a massive public number to lock data while keeping the secret prime factors used to create that number completely hidden. So you can lock the box using the giant public number, but you can only unlock it if you know those secret primes. To put that into perspective and give you a real sense of just how incredibly secure this RSA system is right now, modern cryptography uses prime numbers that are around 313 digits long. That is a massive number. If you took today's absolute most powerful conventional supercomputer and tasked it with figuring out the two prime factors of a number that big, it would take around 16 million years. So under the laws of classical computing, your data is completely and utterly safe. Section 2. Bits versus qubits explained, a computing revolution. But the laws of classical computing are about to be broken. This brings us to the ultimate code-breaking weapon currently under construction, the quantum computer. To truly understand why this machine will eventually destroy our current digital locks, let's just forget the complex math for a second. Let's use a simple analogy to look at how this technology actually functions on a fundamental level. Classical computers process information in bits, which exist strictly as a 0 or a 1. Think of a classical computer trying to solve a maze. It walks down one single path at a time. If it hits a dead end, it has to back all the way up and try the next path. It's fast, but it's fundamentally doing one single thing at a time. Quantum computers, on the other hand, use qubits. A qubit doesn't have to be just a 0 or a 1. It can exist in a superposition. That's an arbitrary combination of those states simultaneously. Imagine that exact same maze. Instead of trying one path sequentially, a quantum computer can walk down every single path at the exact same time. It explores the entire puzzle at once. Section 3. The power of superposition, exponential scaling. Now, the power of this superposition is truly mind-bending when you start stacking it. You see, when you add more classical bits to a normal computer, you just add slightly more processing power. But when you add qubits to a quantum computer, the number of simultaneous states you can represent literally doubles with every single qubit. With just 3 qubits, you can perform 8 calculations all at once. Increase that to just 20 qubits, and you are running over 1 million different calculations simultaneously. The computing power scales exponentially. And just look at this number, 300. If you have a quantum computer with just 300 qubits in superposition, you can represent more simultaneous states than there are particles in the entire observable universe. It is a level of simultaneous processing power that is almost incomprehensible. But there is a massive catch to all of this quantum magic. You cannot simply look at a superposition to read the answer. The very moment you measure a quantum state, the whole thing collapses. It instantly forgets all those millions of paths it was exploring and spits out one random, completely useless value. All that incredible computing power, all those simultaneous calculations, are completely lost the second you try to observe the machine. Section 4. Breaking the unbreakable code, finding the rhythm. So the crucial point is, how is this a threat to our passwords if you can't even read the answer? Well, to actually harness a quantum computer, you need a brilliant workaround. You have to coax the right answer out of the superposition before you measure it. And unfortunately for our digital security, mathematicians figured out how to do exactly this for the very encryption algorithms we rely on today. Back in 1994, mathematicians Peter Shor and Don Coppersmith discovered how to use a quantum Fourier transform to find hidden rhythms in data. Here is the beautifully simple version of their attack. Step 1, the quantum computer makes a completely bad random guess at the encryption key. Step 2, it uses the magic of quantum superposition to process how that bad guess interacts with the public lock, searching through millions of possibilities at once to find a repeating mathematical pattern, a frequency. And step 3, once it isolates that hidden rhythm, measuring the computer reveals the exact prime factors needed. It literally turns a terrible guess into the perfect key to break the code. Now, you might be wondering, just how far away is this threat? Well, we can see the rapid exponential progress we're making right here. In 2012, experts estimated it would take 1 billion physical qubits to break RSA encryption. By 2017, that estimate dropped to 230 million. And by 2019, thanks to massive technological breakthroughs, it plummeted to just 20 million. The gap is shrinking exponentially. While we absolutely don't have that many perfect qubits today, we are on a direct, unavoidable collision course where quantum processing power will inevitably surpass our current cryptographic defenses. Section 5. Defending our digital future, post-quantum crypto. Now, what's really interesting about this is the good news. Scientists aren't just sitting around waiting for the bomb to go off. Because we've long known this threat is coming, cryptographers and organizations like NIST, that's the National Institute of Standards and Technology, have been actively testing and selecting brand new encryption algorithms. These are designed specifically to withstand attacks from both normal supercomputers and future quantum computers. They are building a new post-quantum shield called lattice-based cryptography. Imagine navigating a maze, but instead of being flat, it's a 1,000-dimensional maze. To communicate safely, you give your recipient a secret set of good vectors, basically a clean map that makes navigating this hyperdimensional lattice extremely easy. But to the rest of the public, and to any eavesdropping quantum computer, you only provide a scrambled, incredibly difficult set of directions. If you try to find the hidden data point without the good map, it is practically impossible. You take one step closer to the target in one dimension, and you accidentally take a wrong step in the other 999 dimensions. You win some, but you lose everything else. It is a mathematical nightmare that even a quantum computer cannot solve. And that brings us to the reality we face today. There is an entire army of unsung heroes out there, researchers, mathematicians, and cryptographers working tirelessly behind the scenes right now to replace the very foundation of the internet before quantum computers become powerful enough to shatter it. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder. Are you ready for a world where our current digital locks are entirely obsolete? It's a fascinating, rapidly shifting landscape that is quite literally reshaping global security. Keep learning, stay curious about the technology around you, and thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.